Okay, so what have we got here? We got some well used power tools. Got a circular saw, jigsaw, and an angle grinder. Well, somebody brought these to me that they got for free, and wanted to know were they worth keeping or chunking. And so I took a look at them. That's a DeWalt. This is a DeWalt. This one's a DeWalt 362. This is a DeWalt 318. And at first I thought this was another DeWalt until I looked at the brand. This is a Harbor Freight Chicago Electric angle grinder. Well, I wasn't even willing to plug these in because these cords are, completely shot. They've already been taped over with electrical tape. I said, I ain't plugging that in, electrocute myself. Same way with this one. So I said, if you want these, you want me to check these out, first thing I'm going to do is replace the cords. Otherwise, forget it. So they ordered these two cords. These aren't OEM, but they'll work. The OEM cord for the circular saw was like $35. It ain't worth putting that kind of money into it. But this is an aftermarket off Amazon. This is 18 gauge, which is what the specs call for. On the Jigsaw, called for a 14 gauge. Oh, excuse me, I got them backwards. 14 gauge on the circular saw and 18 gauge on the Jigsaw. Sorry about that. This one here, the cord looked alright. I plugged it in and it ran, but the switch won't even move. And I told him this, I ain't even gonna mess with this. I looked, I couldn't even find a part for the switch, and there's other stuff missing. The handle, side handle's missing. There's no attachments. I don't even know how that attaches. For all I know, something else is missing. I don't know. Brand new, these are like $18. So I told them the only place this one's good for is file 18. The other two, if cords are changed, they might be alright, unless there's a problem with the brushes or bearings or something like that, but wouldn't know that until I replace the cords. These two here, as far as I know, aren't being made anymore. And when I looked it up, they seem to be in the, say, 15 year plus or minus a few year range. Now, why the cords are so rotted, I don't know. I've got a drill over there in the toolbox that I bought in the late 70s, and the cord ain't rotted on it, so I don't know. Maybe it's how they were stored or something, or beats me. So I'm gonna split this up into two videos. I'll do the jigsaw first, and then I'll do the circular saw. Maybe somebody's interested in seeing how to replace the cord. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws that have to come out. Looks like you can either use a screwdriver, and it's got a screwdriver slot, and a 6-point star head bit. Looks like a size T20 fits it. I don't know what the technical name of that bit is, and don't really care. Some people call it a sling bit. I call it a Kaiser bit. Okay, one thing to note is when I took the screws out, this one was shorter than all the rest. So keep that in mind. The long one's short one. Well, I'm sitting here trying to get the cover off, and I thought there was 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought there was 5 screws. No, there's another screw in there. It's covered up with some something. So here I am trying to get it out, and I can't because all the screws ain't out. And I'm going to have a longer screwdriver for that. Alright, now let's try it. It'll probably come off now. There. It's amazing when how easy it is when you take all the screws out. So, well, it looks like the wires go right directly into the switch itself. So I'll have to figure out if those wires easily come out or if I'm going to have to make a splice right here. So let me check that out. Okay, I don't see any way of getting that wire out. For all I know, it's like a one-time deal. If you got a new switch, maybe you push the wire in there. Once you get it pushed in, it doesn't come back out. I don't know. I'm not going to risk breaking the switch. So I'm just going to cut right here, splice the wires, put some heat shrink on it, and if that doesn't work, then, you know, if it needs a new switch, then we'll worry about that when it happens. Don't forget your strain relief here. It just slides off. I don't remember if that comes with an OEM cord or not. I'm thinking not. I think you got to order that separately. I could be wrong because I don't remember. But you're going to need to save it. So I've cut the 2 wires here. And I'm going to strip them and solder 2 new wires on, heat shrink it, and we can plug it in and see if it works. Okay, I stripped the wires here and on the plug. You want to get the length about right. The cord's going to sit in there about like that. And switch is down in there, so I cut them to where they're pretty much the right length. Get your heat shrink ready. Okay, first I'm going to tin the wires. Don't forget your trusty safety glasses, otherwise it could splash in your eye. Got my soldering iron here. Gonna tin the wires first. can get a good bit of solder on there, because you're going to use that solder to solder the two wires together. Okay, now I'm going to take those two and tack them together here. Make sure you got a good bond. Don't have a cold solder joint there. And you put the heat shrink on it. And there's a couple of ways you can heat shrink it. The real proper way is with a heat gun. Now, I have a heat gun. Only trouble with that, not only are you heating the heat shrink, but you're melting all the shit around it. So it doesn't do such a good job in this application. I used to use it at work all the time because all the wire was Teflon, so there was no, you didn't have to worry about melting the wire. So what I do is I just use the tip of my, well, not the exact tip, but I just use my soldering iron to shrink the tubing. Careful you don't touch the wire, because this is probably not Teflon. That's how I do it. Make sure you don't get any little pieces of solder stuck on something. That's easy to do. And you do the other wire the same way. Okay, got the wire soldered in there. Strain relief put in there. Cord. One thing, one reason why you need to be mindful of what gauge you use. You want the cord to be able to fit down in that slot. If I'd have used the 14 gauge on both of them, might not would have fit in there, plus the strain relief wouldn't have been the right size. So it looks like it's got some dust, probably from cutting wallboard. So I'm gonna spray some of this compressed air around that brush right there, and clean out some of the dirt and crap that collected in there. Thought I had some contact cleaner, but I couldn't find it. Alright, I could try it now, or I could put the cover on. I think I'm going to try it now to see if that switch is broke or not. Alright, I got it plugged in. This time for the smoke test. If I get electrocuted, I won't be uploading this because I'll be dead. Alright. Put the cover on. Cleaned up this side a little bit. Still got some dirt down in there. Now let's see if I can get the cover on. Yeah, I think I'll unplug it first. Nah. Yeah, there we go. Now I got to get that switch lined up. That'll be probably the hardest part. Making sure that's in the right exact spot. Seemed like it was up closer. Let me fiddle with that. Okay, got a blade for it. This is the older style blade with the notch instead of the newer style where it snaps in without having to use a tool. So, and also I noticed that now I've never had a jigsaw that had any other features on it. Now this, whatever this is, must be broke because it's just flopping around, and looks like maybe it changes the angle of the blade, and right now I guess it's all the way back or something. Heck, I don't know. Whatever angle that is, that's just where it's going to be. So I assume that's broke because it's just flopping around. But I don't think that's going to make any difference. I'll have to look online, see if I can find the manual, see how that's supposed to operate. Maybe there's something missing or something, or maybe something internal's broke. I don't know. Looks like something might have went in that hole too. Whatever that, if there was anything that's supposed to go there, it's gone now. But other than that, it works. I'll plug it in here. Looks like it works fine. And the only so this tool didn't cost them anything except for the price of the cord. The cord was $9.95 on Amazon. So he's got a free tool here that I only spent $10 on. That ought to do basic cutting. So, see you on the next one, if there is a next one, because you never know.